Ah, is she now? Dushavy asks with a sly grin, directed at Kroganar, acting surprised. You sure about it? Kiri is a bit puzzled by her behaviour and hesitates, having learned to be wary of that particular tone. I don't know why you're asking like that, but I'm pretty sure about it, yeah. Kiri not so confidently adds, hoping Kroganar could back her up somehow. She looks at him, and the giant's shoulders drop slightly, and he reaches for his comm unit. Ha! Told you so! Dushavy exclaims, gloating. Yeah. Kroganar brushes her off, as he taps and fiddles with the device for a bit. Guys? Kiri looks at them, pleadingly, a bit lost. What's going on? Dushavy crosses her arms as she chuckles to herself, a distinct sound. Mr. Charming over here lost a little bet, that's all, she explains, motioning towards Kroganar. Oh really? Do you... Kiri offers to him, knowing Dushavy and therefore a bit worried about what he might have gotten himself into. Don't worry, Ree, he explains, his voice calm as ever as he finishes messing with his comm unit. There's nothing you have to worry about. He tucks the device back into one of the pouches on his belt and looks at the other Raukir with a hard-to-describe expression. Dushavy matches his gaze, not breaking eye contact in an almost challenging way. Yeah, just a small friendly bet. She breaks the eye contact and looks towards Kiri instead, a rare friendly expression on her face. You don't need to soil yourself about it, she teases her with a wink. Hardy ha ha, Kiri retorts, crossing her forearms. Well, anyways, I'm in a good mood now, but you're looking a bit worried, to be honest, the large female reptilian points out. Something about that newcomer you two brought here? Kiri takes a moment in trying to sort out the mess that is her head right now. That ceased him from way earlier, still clouding her thoughts a bit. She sighs and leans against the doorframe she is standing in. Guess I'm just tired from all the weird stuff that's happened today. Ha, no doubt about it. Handsome over here already told me a bit about your little adventure while you helped out Kir-san, and you've certainly pissed off a nasty bunch this time. Her expression is hard to read, somewhere between actual, genuine concern and full-on schadenfreude at her predicament. Failing to get a reaction out of Kiri, her demeanour shifts a bit further. Right, you said something about her being able to give those fucks a proper beating, she asks, obviously having a hard time in cheering the young Kiroan up. Kiri takes a deep breath and looks to her big, scaly friend, who notices her pleading look and stirs from his statuesque standing position. How about we continue talking in the kitchen? I bet we could take a break, Sure. The female brute is interrupted by her business partner, calling out from room number 2. Miss Kiri, you better get your fluffy ass over here, or I'll stick a half-starved dormavi on you. Oh crap, he sounds mad. Kroganar looks at Dushavy with a concerned expression, but she looks wholly amused. You heard the man. Yeah. Kiri waves at her dismissively and sighs. On my way, she shouts ahead as she takes off. Mere seconds later, she has already arrived at the treatment room and hastily swings open the door, much to a certain blood-beast dismay, earning her some raised fur and an eerie, warning growl. Ah. Kir-san nudges his side with a swift but gentle kick. What did I tell you? He chastises it. The beast apparently accepts defeat and lowers his stature again. By the fucking void. She briefly shivers and closes the door behind her. Embarrassed, noticing that her claws are out, she withdraws them and clears her throat. You called for me? She sheepishly inquires. Why, yes, of course, he jests, still focused on his work. Noticing her apparent lack of response, he glances up and over his shoulder with a quick, appraising look. It seems my humour is a bit lost on you at the moment. I thought it funny. Anyways, I indeed do need your assistance with something. That plastic bottle? Oh, right. She completely forgot about that. Kiri reaches into a pocket and produces the small container, the contents rattling inside. Here. Thank you. Kir-san eagerly snatches it from her lower paw and proceeds to open it. Have you noticed those pinpricks at the base of the left leg? He leans over to his right and uses his upper right hand to motion towards 2 rings of bite marks on the soft pink skin that's visible beneath the rolled up leg covering. Trying to get a closer look, she approaches the unconscious stranger, side-eyeing the wary blood beast as she leans down and inspects the unusual cluster of wounds. She replies. You see, the thing is, I only know of one possible species that would leave wounds like that. But, he turns to face her, I would have trouble believing your claims of them being able to move, let alone fend off a few Vorkadanti on their own, should those wounds come from said creatures. Okay, They did, though, she awkwardly states, unsure about where this conversation is going. Kirsan exhales sharply for his snout, a hard-to-read expression on his face. In any case, I'm going to do a quick blood test to either confirm or disprove my suspicions. He takes out a small metallic device from the plastic bottle in his 2 lower paws and, without hesitating any further, he places it near the 2 circles of bite marks and presses a tiny button on top of the device. A mechanical shock emits from it and it beeps briefly. He glances at the gadget in his paw, a satisfied expression on his face after a moment. I will take this over to the lab. You shall stay here and watch over our guest. Understood? He locks eyes with Kiri, noticing something about her expression. Don't worry, he reassures her. Huh? What? She blurts out, previously lost in thought. The blood beast is only a young, and it luckily seems to be bonded to our friend here. Yet another unbelievable thing I will have to investigate further, meaning you are safe as long as you don't intend to hurt them. Her? What? Hurt her? She's a female, right? He leans back for a bit and ponders her theory. I guess so. I was focused on pretty much anything besides that. I didn't even think about it, to be honest. He turns to look at his patient and takes it all in. Yes, based on her chest area, she seems to be a female. Oh. A sudden bright shine on his face tells her he has an idea. Well, that means you'll be the one to change her out of those coverings. Huh? Why? Whatever all of that dirt on these coverings is, it can't be sterile. I don't want all of that spread through my clinic. That and the fact that you two are fellow women means that you'll be the ones to take care of that chore. Oh, and maybe the fact that you just showed up and dumped this, he gestures all around the room, on my lap without any kind of advance warning. He looks at her with a stern expression, expecting something. Yes, sir. Good, he smiles. I'll send Jeffery to go get her something to wear on my way to the laboratory. Mm-hmm. Oh, and don't cut it all up. That earlier was an exception because I needed to still the bleeding, but I don't think she would appreciate us destroying all of her coverings, despite their admittedly rather unusual design. Okay, go for it. And, star's sake, I know how to take off some coverings, alright? She exclaims. Right, excuse my rambling, I will be off. Sorry, just send that beautiful woman here with some damn coverings, alright? He nods and wordlessly takes off, carefully closing the door behind him. Ugh, she massages the middle of her snout. I need some sleep. She looks at the blood beast that sits mere paces next to her, letting out an exhausted sigh. So, would you be a good little blood beast and not kill me? She jests. It tilts its head and looks at her with its 6 deep black eyes. Rah! It bark purrs. Sure, I'll take that as a yes, she replies sarcastically. Getting to work, Kiri moves over to where the feet are and takes off the heavy boots, after a long struggle with a thin, tied-up rope of sorts that apparently secures the boots to the lower legs. After that, she repositions herself to get a better angle on the lower body as a whole, and tries to figure out how those coverings will get off. A quick once-over later, she thinks to have got it and starts fiddling with a strange metal contraption that seems to hold some kind of strap around the lower pelvis together, preventing her from removing the leg covering altogether. They sure like their overly complicated rope mechanisms. It takes some serious effort, but she eventually manages to get it unbuckled, and starts to remove the leg coverings until... Hey, Kirzan told me to bring this to you. Oh my! Jeffery bursts into the room, eliciting a panicked girly scream out of an already surprised and slightly shocked Kiri, whose ears violently flutter in embarrassment, with a snout that feels as if it is glowing. Ah, shit, the large reptilian mutters, completely ignoring the embarrassed Kiri in front of her. Guess I've got to give him his money back, she thinks aloud, audibly disappointed. That is your first thought about this? Kiri shouts, embarrassed. Yeah, I mean, I don't like losing, you know, Jeffery responds flatly. What about... Kiri's ears flutter again as she gestures back to the source of her embarrassment, trying very hard not to look that way. It's nature, you know. Besides, not like we're even the same category of species, but if I were a mammal like you, she explains, narrowing her eyes with a shit-eating grin as she finishes the last sentence. Just drop your stuff off and get out of here, Kiri calls out. Will do. Jeffery's obvious enjoyment of Kiri's predicament manages to seemingly distract her, at least momentarily, from the situation behind her, as Kiri starts cussing up a storm at the quickly retreating woman. That's... ugh. I'll get that lizard for this one day, she angrily whispers as the door clicks shut. Trying to focus on the task at hand, she moves over where Jeffery drops the provisional coverings for her new acquaintance and picks them up. A few minutes later, the newcomer is wearing some plain medical decency coverings, and their old, dirty coverings are neatly stacked on the cardboard next to the door. A physically and mentally drained Kiri exits the room and heads straight for the kitchen, inside of which Kroganar and a very amused Dushavy sits at the table. "Oh, done already? I thought you would last longer." The woman glows at her. "You're impossible, grow up already," Kiri exclaims. Don't soil yourself. Not like anybody got hurt, you pansy." Kiri sits down across from her and grumbles. Dushavy pipes up and gets up from her seat. "Well, Kirzan told me to get that stuff clean, so I'm off, except..." Dushavy intently glares at Kiri. "You want Mama Lizard to also be here for the talk?" "Oh, get out already, you lusty newt," Kiri swears, aggressively scooting back with her chair. Dushavy gleams as she leaves the room. As soon as him and Kiri are alone, Kroganar speaks up. "What was all that about?" Were it anyone else besides Noir, she would have exploded at them for that question, but knowing him, it's clear that his confusion is genuine. Kiri closes her eyes and takes a deep breath to calm herself down before she answers. "She actually didn't tell you?" she asks, trying to hold back her anger. "No. She just came back in a very good mood, so I thought something good must have happened." "Yeah, good from her perspective. She's going to laugh her ass off for weeks to come." "Something happened, sure," she reluctantly answers, trying hard not to get mad again. "Kirsan instructed me to undress the stranger because of their coverings. Something about them not being sterile and stuff." "Okay, and why is she in such a good mood?" he inquires. "Well, turns out that they might have a pair of memory glands, but also, you know." "I don't know what you're implying," he admits truthfully. "There was also a distinctly male organ," she shyly adds, her snout warming up again. "Oh, I see." Kroganar seems taken aback for a moment. "Really?" She nods simply. "That is weird." She nods again. "That is really weird. Does Kirsan know about that?" "No, I don't think so," she answers, sulking. "I'm sorry for bombarding you with so many questions right now, but I still don't know why that would put her in such a good mood. She lost the bet after all." "She was being an ass and made fun of my embarrassment the whole time," she exclaims, maybe a bit too loud. "Sorry," she meekly adds. "I see. That was not nice of her." Kiri simply nods, not wanting to get loud at him again. "Can I help you in some way?" he asks. "No. I just want to be left alone for a moment," she mumbles under her breath. "Oh, of course. I'll be waiting in the hallway then." The armored giant slowly starts to get up, but gets interrupted by Kiri, who quickly gestures for him to stay. "You don't have to leave, just leave me up." Oh. Why is it sometimes so hard to choose the right words for him to understand? "Just don't talk to me for a bit, alright? I don't want to get mad and shout at you." The giant nods, sitting down again. A few minutes later, Dushavy comes through the open doorway once again. "Oh, seems pretty quiet in here." Kroganar lifts an open claw, palm facing towards Dushavy. "She had an exhausting day. Please sit down," he calmly demands. Sure. A disappointed Dushavy complains as she sits down. Kiri continues to stare at the tabletop, but still notices Dushavy stealing a few glances here and there. Sorry," the reptile apologizes. "What?" Kiri perks up at the sudden apology. "What did you just say?" she asks incredulously. "I didn't know you took it so seriously. Sorry." She can't believe it. Dushavy? Apologizing? "Oh, don't stare at me like that. You make me all nervous," the reptile complains. "Sure, okay." Kiri is utterly confused. But before anyone can say anything further, Kirsan steps through the door, and all eyes are immediately on him. "Oh, that's certainly an interesting way to greet me," the visibly uncomfortable Kiroan states. Kiri pipes up. "What are the test results?" she inquires, curious about Kirsan's earlier words. "Yes, the tests." He sits down at the end of the table. "First off, after I took care of the numerous lacerations, I shifted my attention to those metal rods that were affixed to her right arm." "Not her," Dushavy interrupts. "Excuse me, what?" "They're not a female." "Didn't Kiri just tell me she was female a few minutes ago?" Kirsan protests. "Well, yeah, but..." Kiri tries to explain. "I walked in while she was busy taking off the leg coverings. They have one," Dushavy interrupts, gesturing. "Oh, alright. Not like I didn't think it was even possible for their biology to be any weirder," Kirsan muses. "Where was I again? Right. I took a closer look at those metal rods that were affixed to the forearm with a crude contraption that reminds me of cargo belts. I figured that it was a bit unlikely for that to be part of their coverings, given the otherwise industrial-level quality of fabrication, and took it off to search their arm for any injuries of sorts. There had to be a reason to strap the thing to their arm, after all." Everyone looks at him, curious about his findings. I saw no obvious injuries, so I almost dismissed it as a quirk, until I inspected the arm closer and immediately knew what happened. Just the thought of them being able to properly function despite such an injury alone makes me uneasy. Their arm is broken. Broken? Some exclaim, almost in unison. Yes, broken. He holds up a portable computing device, an image of a broken bone next to another on his screen. As you can see here, their forearm has 2 bones inside of it, one of which snapped right here. A few nods tell him to go on. The way those metal rods are affixed to the arm makes me think that their body might have the capacity to let his bones repair themselves, at least somewhat without any interference. But even if that should not be the case, they have at least enough knowledge about their own biology to know that a broken bone needs to be braced. We can therefore deduct that they are at least a neo-sapient, if not even a fully developed sapient. The way they fought off the group of Orcadanti and how they interacted with the Blood Beast pup makes me think that as well. There is a certain level of intelligence to them, Crocodile mentions. Yeah, I think they even tried to speak with us, Kiri adds. Good. That only manages to reinforce my hypothesis. But the other things I have found out are equally as disturbing, even if fascinating, as their ability to stay conscious with a broken bone. He starts listing off, counting with his fingers, each time he mentions another ailment. Based on their skeletal structure, their musculature and other factors, I conclude that they are likely malnourished, dehydrated, and suffer from severe exhaustion. The oxygen levels of our local atmosphere seem a bit too low for their liking, and they have also been poisoned by not 1, no, but 2 vent horrors, as you would call them. Oh, and I have found traces of a very potent and highly illegal combat drug in their bloodstream. A heavy silence falls upon the room. The realization of just what kind of monstrosity is currently lying in room number 2 hitting everyone present. And that, young Kiri, is why I told you not to worry about that blood beast, which is a completely different topic in and of itself, by the way, but it will have to do for now, as I want to collect more data before making any further assumptions. Kiri, obviously excited to find out more about the weird and interesting stranger, pipes up. Ooh, I can help you with that. Getting up from her sitting position, she is overcome by an unexpected dizziness, stumbles, and has to catch herself from falling onto the table face first, needing all of her 4 arms to brace herself. Ha, whoopsie. She tries to play it off. The others present give her looks of varying degrees of concern and amusement. Kiri, you are very obviously exhausted. Go ahead and rest for a bit upstairs, will you? We shall take care of the rest for now, Kurzweil says matter-of-factly. Are you sure? I can still help if you need me to, she half slurs. No. I would rather have you rest than make any unnecessary mistakes right now. Okay, she replies groggily, the down hitting her like a wall after the sea-sim's effects finally wear off completely. How long has it been since the last time I slept? Kizan looks like he has to say something to Kroganar, but the giant reptilian is already on his feet, and making his way to Kiri. Good, I see we share the same thoughts, Kizan muses. I'll bring her upstairs, the giant rumbles. Excellent, you go ahead and rest as well. You two certainly had a long day. Doshavir? Yep. Follow me, please. I'm going to need your strength to transfer our guests from their current premises to something a bit more worthy of a thinking person. They are a lot heavier than they look. Sure thing. With that, Kroganar leads Kiri out of the kitchen, and the other pair make their way to their current guest. Oh, I almost forgot, Kroganar thinks out loud, as the 2 of them slowly make their way down the hallway. Dushavi, he calls out, pausing briefly. You owe me my money back. A muffled, ah, shit, comes from across the corridor, much to his and Kiri's amusement.